So let's just have a quick look through what changes there are currently with the PUP. Just very briefly. This is on the FPL. I think Moonshine's basically put together all of the current known changes. There's probably more that people have found. So the PUP. So Italians, there's the Imperial Basagliere card in age 5. They've now corrected the armor bonus for that to 5%, and that was up from 0.5%. So that's probably going to really affect a lot of treaty players. It's an age 5 card, so probably never going to really see it in a supremacy setting unless it's like a really long team game. You now have red shirts in age 4, no longer affects the entire team. Some root line saying, wait, red shirts was a team card? WTF? I've got to say, I'm not too familiar with Italy too much myself, so red shirts, I don't even know what that card actually does. But anyway, moving on. I don't think there's any changes to Malta. There's none listed here, so I don't think they've made any particular changes there for Malta. Let's have a look at Mexico. Once again, I don't think there's anything there. Cheers, Dragonfruit. Red shirts is a Musk Skirm attack card. Okay. Thanks for that. USA, is there any changes here for USA? I don't think there is, actually. Nothing down on the list here for them. Same for Hauser. Now, Swedes have got quite a big one. Swedes, we all know about the Hacker Pellet unit. I did a video on that a while ago about how insane they were. So the hit points have now reduced to 210 from 240 for the Hacker Pellets. So the melee damage has been reduced as well to 22. That's down from 30. So that is a huge drop in melee damage. And the melee damage multiplier now applies to heavy cavalry instead of all cavalry. So basically, the Hacker Pellet was originally a Dragoon type unit. They then made it into... they then sort of still had it as a light cav unit. No, sorry. It originally was a heavy cav unit. Then they changed it to a light cav unit. But the melee attack was so high that it was just so goddamn good against skirmishers. Now, skirmishers should be able to counter the Hacker Pellets. But in a lot of cases, they were just very, very good at just chopping down any kind of... light infantry units. That was one of the main issues. And also the movement speed of them were kind of crazy as well. They've added a melee damage multiplier of 0.6 against infantry and villagers. Okay, interesting. Yeah, but they have reduced the melee damage quite significantly, so having that 0.6 I don't think is going to do a great deal. March of the Hacker Pellets, which is a specific Hacker Pellets card. The speed increase has been reduced to 0.15. Down from 0.25, so quite a significant reduction there. And finally, the contract Irish Brigadiers in Age 2 sends 9 Irish Brigadiers up from 8 and is now available in Age 2 as intended. So that gives Sweden some kind of option there for Age 2 if they do need to fall upon their Irish Brigadiers. However, Germany have 11 Irish Brigadiers for 500 coins, so I'm not too sure whether it costs 500 coin for Swedes to get 9 out, or whether it is just 9 and it's free. I'm not entirely sure. Inca, I don't see anything listed here on the patch for Inca. They may well be, but that may be something for later on in the year. Ethiopia, once again, I don't see anything in there for Ethiopia. I'm just having a look. No, I don't think I see it. The Howds, nothing for the Howds. Lakota, yes, there's a few changes here. So Lakota, Cooperation, which is an Age 2 tribal marketplace. It's a big button from the tribal marketplace. It now correctly costs 250 food and wood and lowers the cost of support cards by 25% as intended. So it's up from 15%, which it was originally. They've finally reverted the Axe Riders, ladies and gents. The Axe Riders. So originally there was a Axe Rider card. It was 4 Axe Riders in Age 2. That dropped down to 3 for some strange reason, but they've now reverted back on that and put it back up to 4. So we have 4 Axe Riders in Age 2, which is nice. And here we have the 5 Club Warriors in Age 2 card. That has been changed and reverted back to 6. So more of a chance for Lakota to be more involved in Age 2. The 4-Axe Rider card is great for them. Really, really nice. It's worth it now. And the Club Warriors as well is really good. And finally, there's a team card here, the Great Lakes card in Age 1. It now correctly reduces the cost of the legendary warboats, improved cordage, and river raids technologies in the Native American docks. Whatever that means. I don't think I've ever gone for that card, but there it is. I was practicing Lakota and thought I had a bug when I couldn't find the 4-Axe Rider card. Yeah, exactly. Now, Aztecs, nothing's been put on here just yet for any changes to Aztec in the patch that's going to be coming. There may well be, but nothing's been documented here. China. Now, China do have the T-Export change. That's the one thing that they've changed with China, and it is the T-Export trickle card. One of the most foundational cards now for China is the T-Export card, which gives you the consulate rickshaw, and it gives you an improved export trickle. Now, the export trickle has been reduced to 0.35 export a second from 0.4. So from a percentage standpoint, that's over 10% reduction on the export trickle, which is kind of huge, gotta say. Moonshine is saying hi, Widgie. He's saying hi, Widgie. No, he knows that I'm doing it. Yeah. So I'll give it a little love heart there. So I don't know how I feel about that, the export trickle. We're going to have to see how much it changes, because it is going to reduce the timing that you get your blockhouse. Is it going to reduce it that much? Is it going to be a huge thing for China? It's unsure to say. I don't know. We'll have to see what it's like in practice and see how impactful it is. But I still think people are going to go for the T-Export card, mainly because of the fact it gives you the consulate really early and it enables you to ally with a relation early, so you get that early benefit, especially if it's Russia, for example. You get a 10 food reduction on your vills, and your vills come out slightly quicker from the TC as well. So there's also that to take into account. Hey Tom, how they treat Lakota is really showing where this game is at going from 4 to 3, only to revert it like 3 months later without any other changes that matter. Yeah, so I think there will be further changes. There's definitely going to be further changes further down the line. What they're doing at the moment is they're trying to patch the biggest problems. So the biggest things, we're going to get down into them, but there are going to be further changes. So India, for example, they've currently got a change to the Crushing Force card, which is damage is a damage improvement for elephants, and that's been reduced to 15% down from 20%. So not too sure about this one, to be honest, whether elephants need to be dealt with there. I think this might be around, I don't know whether this must impact siege elephants. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure about that one, to be honest. Japanese, don't think there's anything there just yet for that. The French have got a ton of stuff for their French Revolution. I don't honestly know a lot of these cards, guys, to be honest, but I'll quickly run through it for you. The Aerostatic Corps for Age 4 here no longer sends an advanced hot air balloon. The French Revolution in Age 4 now also activates the Edict of Nantes card to enable the grenadier training in the church. The Napoleonic era, which is the French Revolution, is to do with the French Revolution. The cost has been reduced to 1789 food and 1815 coin from 1789 food and 1804 wood and 1815 coin. Okay, I get it. I get what they're doing there. The Sister Republics cost reduced to 1,000 food from 1,500 food. The 100 days now takes 60 seconds to arrive, up from 40 seconds. And the sans culottes, the initial gather rate for wood has changed to 0.5 wood a second, up from 0.4. And for mines, it's 0.66 coin a second, up from 0.5. So there we go. A lot of stuff. Did Widgie just say corpse? I may have, yeah. The corp. Sorry. Corpse. The corp. The core, sorry. The core. The core. Yeah, I did say corpse. That's kind of awkward, isn't it? There's a lot of talking here. Moving on to the Portuguese, and the number one card that they're addressing at the moment is the Fetorius card. Now, the Fetorius one is the trickle that you get from your town centres, and they've basically reduced the effectiveness of this by 50%. So hopefully that should address the issues. It still is a pretty decent card to go for, I still think. I mean, it's such a good card, but it might be a card that people now miss and won't use as much, and they'd rather maybe go for more of an ATP style play with Portuguese, which is something that used to be done a lot earlier. So, yeah, the Feitoria was OP, but this is Sag. Yeah, so we'll see what happens there. Moving on to the Germans, the Pandora's card in Age 3. So this was actually a bug, really. So it ships 13 Pandoras in Age 3, and that used to cost 500 coin, but it was always meant to cost 1,000, and I think it was just an error when it was done. So it's now going to be reverted to 1,000 coin, which is good. The mercenary camps in Age 3 will now deliver 3 Ulans as intended. So it didn't used to deliver, even though it said it didn't deliver the 3 Ulans as well, but that is actually going to, which is nice. The Dutch, 2 bank wagons with the South American Revolution. The bank build limit has increased by 2 from 1. So that's, I think, the only main change they're doing to the Dutch. The Spanish, there's one here for Spanish gold in Age 3. Now adds the appropriate amount of 330 coin per shipment instead of 300 to Exploration Age cards after aging up with the Logistician Politician. So there we go. That's a mouthful, isn't it? Logistician, politician. The next one, the Brits. I don't think anything is in there for the Brits. There are talks about the Brits and potential changes in the future, but I don't think anything is happening with this patch on them. The Ottomans, there's a huge amount for the Ottomans. So here we go, guys. The Ottomans. So the Azeps, which are the ranged kind of pike unit, they're a ranged unit that are good against Cav. Their range damage has been reduced to 6 from 8. Their melee resistance has been flipped to ranged resistance. So they're basically kind of like a skirm unit, but they're good against Cav, but their damage has been reduced. So I don't know. I don't know what their original resistance was. I don't know whether it was 10%, but they've flipped that to ranged resistance. Now, the delis, the deli spamming that people got so sick and tired of because of their attack speed, their movement speed, both of those have been reduced. So the attack speed has been slowed down to 1.2 from 1. The movement speed has been reduced to 6.8 from 6.9. And the hit points have been increased to 315 from 310. So a very minor HP hit point increase. The attack speed has been slowed quite significantly. That's like a 20% increase on how slow the attack is. And the movement speed has been reduced as well. The unit no longer benefits from counter infantry rifling. Oh, this is for the Nizam Fusilier. Sorry, so the Nizam Fusilier unit, it no longer benefits from the counter infantry rifling. The melee damage multiplier against Cav as well has been increased to 3 up from 2.5 to match the strengths of the Musketeer unit. Okay. The Nizam Fusilier units and shipments now respect a build limit of 20 up from 15. So the Jan shipments now properly respect the available population space. Okay. And finally, the Levy fixed an error that allowed Ottomans to access a second levy ability, spawning militiamen when starting a game in the post-industrial or post-imperial age. No nerf for the Abbas. There we go, guys. There is no nerf for the Abbas gunner. Not at the moment. So they're just going to see how it goes, I think, with these changes. The Azeps, as I say, probably a nerf overall for them. Delhi's definitely. The Nizams, I'm not entirely sure, they've got quite a decent cav multiplier now, and everything else is what it is. And finally, for the Russians, oh no, Abbas are too good. Well, we'll have to see. We'll have to see how it goes. The Russians finally, I don't really understand this, but the Sovnya card in Age 3, which is the new card, that's the one with the sword on it, the machete. It basically increases the melee attack for the Strelets by a serious amount, has been reduced. It's only been... this is insane, right? The melee damage has gone to +4, which was down from +10. So I don't understand this, because I love that card. I love the idea that because Strelets have that huge sort of machete, that they're pretty good in melee. But this card is basically pretty much useless now. I don't think I'd ever get this card. I mean, from +10 to +4, it's not worth my time in Age 3, personally. Economic Theory in Age 1, however, has been added back. So, we do have the Eco Theory in. Would love to hear their reasoning behind that change. Yes, I would. But Eco Theory, it is nice. Unfortunately, you know, I wish that they could bring back Boyers. I wish Boyers would go back to where it was. I don't understand why they changed that. The Sovnya Strelets have more melee damage than Musks. Yes, but the Strelets do not have the multipliers against Cav like Musketeers do. So, yeah, the Strelets will do pretty well in melee, but they're still not going to be very good against Cav, because Cav will just tear right through them. So, and it is a card. You're using a whole card in Age 3 to make the upgrade. I think maybe dropping it down to maybe +8, maybe +7 might be better, but +4, I don't know. I think +4 is a bit crazy. And there we go, guys. So I think they're the overall changes. I don't think there's anything that I've missed. There obviously may be more things that change and that people find out. But, you know, I think there's definitely more focus from the devs to try and improve the balancing further. They are getting more people involved from the community as well. So there's definitely more of an effort, and I'm seeing more of an effort. So hopefully, you know, in the near future, in the next few months, we'll have even more changes that will improve the competitive side of the game. So there we go. I hope you guys enjoyed that.